basically, this is what I discovered. And additionally, I discovered that really I is not the I, but I is something much more. See, this true I that you think you are is the one that you see here on the presentation. The one that you see on this very slide. This true I is your soul. This true I is someone that you were born as. You were born in the driver's seat of this human vehicle, this beautiful machinery, the most advanced technical machinery here on Earth, that is so amazing and yet so hardly understood, but hardly understood by the mind. If we go back to the mind, it opens up certain knowledge portals. Next one and next one and next ones. But everything exists right now. It already has been created. And we are being made aware as the brain, this me, this ego, this identity that we have, is being informed what really God is capable of creating. And for that, I'm so grateful to God on this aspect, because He was so wonderful to give me this opportunity to show you this story. And to tell you the story, it's for me a long story about what I really am capable of seeing as the soul, seeing as the human vessel that God really delivered on, and this human vessel that really lived the life until I've been made aware by the higher consciousness that it really exists. See, my story, or this story of I that got to know that it's not the I, is really the story that started for me at least 15 years ago. The story of understanding. My life story is already 40 years, and I'm so happy that I lived my life this way. I'm so happy that this life gave me so many experiences that I can right now really give to others. My story is the story of probably all of us. The story that is the story that has a couple of elements. As you see, we as human beings are part of at least couple of processes that the brightest mind, brightest presence, brightest beingness, brightest idea in creation of God created. I've been blessed to discover at least couple of those critical elements for us. As you see in here, I discovered that basically we are not only on our human hero's journey, but we as well are on the journey of going from our physical aspect as human body to mental aspect that starts to understand, starts to logically open up for how this creation is functioning. We start to discover while we grow how many capabilities we have, how many possibilities we have. We are being formed to have the cycles. We have been formed to have the cycles of this physical aspect. So things that revolve around our physical body, but as well discovering this presence of the physical body. But this physical aspect is not only our body. It's the physical aspect of this world here on earth. This is the aspect that is so very related to our beingness. The Vitruvian Man of Pablo Picasso or Leonardo da Vinci, yeah, I know some of you already catched that one. He mentioned that Vitruvian Man is just a reflection that the human being is really the template, the model for the universe, how the universe works. So this physical aspect is the aspect that most of us live on daily life. When we use our senses, when we see, taste, smell, we have emotions, we tend to focus on things, on threats, rather than potential opportunities, and we engaged in actions with others. It's where we are as human beings in the physical presence. When we start to grow, when we start to discover that the mind not only logically aligns things, but we start to see that, okay, I have the mind, but how it works? I have the mind, but how my physical body works? Then we land on this next step, that is the mental aspect, where we already are discovering ourselves from the perspective of the mind that observes the mind that observes the body, the mind that hears the body. That is another aspect of ourselves. From this aspect, sometimes, and my journey is one of them, you have more and more struggles while you start processing, okay, I know that I function this way, I have fears, I have angers, but how should I work on those angers? How can I really give a break to this mind? Because sometimes you start to see that this mind starts to work in a certain way. And then you land in the area of unknown usually. as it is called, in the area of mysticism. So the area that is outside the scope of what can be defined in physical aspects. And that is spirituality. We, most of the time, are so nested in the body aspect of ourselves. And for me, this story was long time this way, that I was as well going through different locations. I was having different jobs. I was looking for the job and what I wanted to do, but in line what is really good for the market. I went through different locations. I was working from different perspectives, as in IT, in security architecture, in things like this, just really because I saw that this niche is really worth pursuing, as it gives comfort. But as well, I started to observe that this comfort is not really something that I want to do for the rest of my life, in terms of that I see that I can do more. And for me, this journey took a couple of steps. One was that I was looking for the ways as well to extract my knowledge, to pass my knowledge from security, from crypto values, from cryptocurrencies, and from other aspects of myself that I started to discover, the capabilities, the things that I've learned from great traders, like from cryptocurrency, from great sources, and as well from great experts in security field, and all of that I saw, I was pursuing, I was better and better in those aspects. But when I started to look what I need to share, what I share, it was not that. It didn't ring a bell for the long term. It didn't ring the bell of fulfillment. So for me, I started to discover that I will do different path. I started to see that this architecture knowledge I can use as well. I started to think how. And first thing was that why so often we land in fear as our guide to what should we do. That was one of the aspects. I will talk about that one tomorrow on broader terms. But this was one of the questions, how to conquer the fears that I have, how to conquer the angers that I can have. That was the first idea. But it was not yet into that direction. I didn't see that one as something that fulfills me totally. And I started to expand, and finally I came to conclusion that I'm on a path. And I came to conclusion this I, but it was bigger I than just this ego that sits between the ears most of the times. This identity that we have here in this human suite. But this idea was much bigger. It was about how we can reach the soul. How it is possible to really discover this aspect of ourselves that is so unknown, so non-understood. And for that, I participated in one of the programs, and there was great coach that specialized as well in ancient techniques of meditation, of psychology. And what he was able to do was to show us, give us the experience of how our souls work. And then I felt how it is to really hear the language of the soul, how it is to speak to someone and have no doubt that it landed, have no double explanations, have direct interaction, timeless interaction. How it is possible, timeless? It is. And I started to explore. This is the beginning of the exploration. This is the view of what is the physical aspect, how your journey goes through the physical aspect, what is the mental aspect, what is around this mental aspect, and what is the spiritual destination that we are all destined to reach. This is our ultimate journey to rediscover the spiritual self. And as you see in here, this human hero's journey, it bases on 3 steps. It's this departure phase, it's the initiation phase, and the return phase. So, just to give you the background, because this human hero's journey is probably one of the most profound ways to discover what is the process for life, how it has been designed, how it works. Some of you might know that this is as well in line what Hollywood has as templates for best movies, the movies that have best engagement. This hero's journey that has this departure phase, and in this departure phase, as you see, is the ordinary world, the call to adventure, the refusal of call, meeting with the mentor, and crossing the first threshold. What is this? This is basically how we evolve. This is the story of someone that lives his life but sees that he has more to do. He has something bigger in him to discover. He has some hints, some things pop into his mind, some actions happen, and he is either forced or is willing to change. And as you see in here, initially, as for all of us, there is this initial rejection of the call. There are already the beliefs that are quite limiting beliefs that we all have that start to judge the situation. Something pops in that you have to travel throughout continents. Your mind initially always says impossible. Different option, please. But why? Mind wants to protect you. It's designed to protect us. It's this survival brain that right now, in those situations that happen, it's not the one that works the best for us. So what might be in here? In here, there is a path of meeting the mentor as well. The path where you usually just have some type of enlightenment by someone that already discovered that you might be more, that you are not destined to be just in the single place for all the time. You are destined for creation. You are destined for experiencing new and new and new things without only thinking about being in the safe place all the time. And what is in here? In here, it's the first step that needs to be taken. The first step to your destination. What is next step is that on this path, if you already start to discover your path, you are being tested. You are being tested for all the things that you do in your destination. If you plan to grow, you are tested by not having time, by having the need of really just focusing of, okay, I cannot do it, I don't have time. But fight for it. Be there for you. Those tests are the tests for your self-growth, for your persistence. Those tests are about finding not only your path, finding not only the tested steps that you should take, but as well, this is the way to find someone that can help you, some people that you can talk with, that give you a better picture, those people that you find in places where normally you would not find them. You will not reach those places if you didn't take this decision to follow your path, to follow the experience that you have been blessed with. Because those experiences that just appear in your head, and most of the times those that are the most abstract ones, those are the challenges for you. And those as well are the ones that are usually given by your soul, given by your soul through your heart. And that will be in the third section. So stay tuned for the third day, as we will talk about spirituality. And I have awful lot to talk about spirituality, because I'm so blessed with this wonderful knowledge about spirituality that I'm getting more and more as this human being. I'm experiencing. I'm thankful for God that He gives me this possibility to experience this type of spirituality that I see. So beautiful. And as you see in the initiation phase as well, it's about really finding out the most inner doubts that you have and going to the deepest level of you to reach to those levels and take them out and start to go. Start to progress with your destination. What happens as well is that on this path of hero's journey, this hero's journey is not only the way of discovering, the way of making yourself aware, but as well going back to the environment that you are present in. And in this environment, you not only discover some roadblocks that are blocking you for reaching your full potential, from reaching this that you want to experience, and you already are doing those steps, you will always have this road back that you have to return. You have to as well adapt. You have to reborn as the new human being that you are. The new human being that started really to experience life on totally different level. He opened up one of those tasks that he was handed on this human journey to have. And the last one is that usually as well he's handed with type of potion, type of solution, type of a bridge that he can give to others that were in a place where he was and are going to the destination that he is currently in. So this is this wonderful background of how our human journey is the hero's journey. How we have opportunities to grab life as it is without any threats. If your soul gives you the task, you can be sure that you are safe. You can be sure that in any way possible it will support you. God will support you. The higher consciousness will support you. And it's your hero's journey that you are on. You are on hero's journey of reaching the goals of your life that you are born to accomplish, but you are on hero's journey to evolve from the physical aspect, from this human journey, from the earth life that we have, to the astral universe that exists as well on totally different level, and beyond that, the idea, the creation, the God's mind, as you can say, where all those beautiful souls landed, where those beautiful souls that appear from time to time in our times. For me, it was Jesus that brought me to spirituality, because I was looking for how I can evolve more, how I can understand better how Jesus was born, how Jesus was reaching this Christ consciousness, how this evolution happened. I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful that Jesus gave promises. And I know that He delivers those promises. It's this consciousness, this constant feeling, the energetic feeling that I have while speaking even those words, that I know that He is supporting everything that happens. He is in there for us, for you, for me, for all the visible human beings that exist. He is there for us. God, the Creator, is there for us. He is in us. Do you think that we are the creation that has been just pushed and do it everything on your own? We are as well being created on permanent basis. In the subatomic world, the distance between ourselves is so great, like in the universe. It's like the cosmic realm that is minimized, this micro version of the cosmos. So think about that, what it gives you. Think about those 3 steps. Think about 3, how important the number 3 is as well for humanity. The physical, mental, and spiritual aspect, 3. Those steps, 3 as well. 7 chakras, but not every time it has to be 3. But they represent those 3 aspects. As well, they show you from energetical perspectives how you work, how you need to align yourself on those aspects that they are representing to really be in alignment with yourself, be in alignment with your calling. So that's just a short introduction in here about this perspective that is for me so clearly visible, that we are on a journey. We are on human hero's journey. As human beings, we are born and we are designed to discover, especially to discover ourselves, our inner selves, not necessarily only the external world. Have you thought about that? That's what I was talking about as well. The body's journey. So, from yogic culture, which I'm so fascinated with recently, as it opens up even more perspectives to life than I had before. I was really interested in psychology for a long time, as well from the mind perspective, from scientific mind articles and things like this, Scientific American Mind, all those type of journals and locations, just to expand the knowledge about how the mind works. But you see in here that yogi culture as well has a bit expanded version of those bodies that we have. It's not considered as the non-body, that those elements that are not physical. In yogi culture, in yogi bodies, we have all the bodies in us. We are both the physical, the mental, and spiritual aspect. All the time, all those bodies are like layers, one on the other. But about ourselves, as well, those cells have memory. They are part of our whole memory. It's not only the brain that remembers. It's our cells. It's about evolution as well. It's being remembered in each and every cell. And for yogi bodies, they have those 5 as high-level ones, Of course, there are versions where you can see even more, but in here you see that we have 5 in here, like physical, so Annamaya Kosha, the life energy body, the mental body, the intellect, and the spiritual bliss, so the spiritual body. As you see in here as well. This is really the template of the universe. This is how we all were built to be. This is how we were modeled. We as human beings are as well a model for the whole dimensions, like the perfect ratio as well. If we stand properly, we form the perfect ratio. We are models in so many elements of life. We are models of the universe. And just to follow that, and to be better visible, because as well I want to be as visible as possible. And I want to know as well that you can see anything, because yeah, the wonderful Facebook transmission is not the one that I like the most, but in this aspect as well you can see what we are looking for. One of those aspects is how our body functions, how the physical body is being built, how we are built to discover this physical body, how we were born to discover how we should work, and what is the essence here of all of us. I will go back to presentation, maybe it will be better highlighted. So body has couple of aspects. One of them, or one of the main ones, is breathing. If you stop breathing, you are out. If you stop breathing, if you are breathing, you are alive. Shortcut is breath is life. Breath is God. God, through breath, is controlling that we are alive. God, through breath, gives us this possibility. But breath itself is not something that simple that you only breathe. breath itself as well has impact on other aspect of ourselves. Breath has impact on our angers, on our fears, on all those situations that we get stressed. When we get stressed, instead of 15 times a minute, we start breathing 30 to 40 times a minute. And what's astonishing is that when you reduce the breath times in a minute consciously, you start as well to get calmer and calmer and calmer. So breathing as well is something so important, so profound for us as human beings, because learning to breathe properly and learning to have proper posture while breathing, with your chest up, with your spine straight, it's so important yet undiscovered how important the breath is, how important the intake of new air is. The air has multiple side effects. If you learn to breathe properly, your cells are oxygenated in proper way, your mind works much clearer. You can focus much better. So this is so important to have the practice of really following how we should breathe, how to practice breaths, how profound, how important they are. The next one for the body, it's obvious for most of us. Food. Without food, we cannot live. But there is something interesting about the food. It's as well what Sadhguru mentions is that what you eat after you eat it becomes you. So those meals become part of you. They become built into you as human beings. So what you eat is what you become as well. We are having so many questions about our health. And we already know, okay, diet is important. But it is as well very important what you eat. It's not like only the things that you run on daily basis, they are the best for you. If you think about how long does it take for the meal to really, from intake to output, this path, how long does it take for food to travel through that path? It's different for different types of food. Fruits they are the fastest. So you have nearly instant energy while you eat the fruit. The vegetables as well, quite instant energy, but food as meat can stay in your digestive tract for a couple of hours, for even more, even up to 24 hours. So what happens in there as well, it's important, because eventually you might have some toxins in your digestive tract. So what you eat is quite important as well from the perspective of really what is added to what you eat. Are there pesticides? Are there toxins? Is there a way to test if there are any? There are a couple of ways, even the homemade ones, but it's important as well to be aware that what you eat is what you become. And most of the times as well, food not only gives you the energy, as well it can influence your mood. Especially the red meats, where in yogi tradition it's mentioned that those type of meats, they bring emotions with the meat, especially if the meat is raw or semi-cooked. It might bring lots of those by the process itself. How this meat has been prepared. And additionally, how we are built as human beings, how our teeth are formed, and these teeth that are more into eating vegetables than eating any type of meat. We are vegetarians by design. Some capabilities of eating meat as well, yeah, but vegetables work much better. But the vegetables as well that are cleaned up, that are clean from toxins. So that is important. And what I mentioned as well is that sometimes even food can influence how our body works, can influence the chemistry of our body. Most of the time influence our state of anger. It's quite often caused as well on these terms, but much more often it's the mind itself that uses that technique. The mind itself that uses the chemistry to really influence how we work. But chemistry of the body, most of the times, the hormones, so this element as well is quite important. You can see as well that mind has those capabilities to launch the reaction just by flushing the system with specific hormones or specific, even internal drugs, you can call it, because there are some receptors of cannabis in the brain, but those elements are still in place. And mind has that mechanism available for use. So that might be as well. Question mark, why you are struggling with pushing the restrictions of the mind and pursuing what you have as human being. It's because your mind has all those elements. It has adrenaline, it has cortisol that it can use in those situations. So it can protect you, sometimes protect you from an unknown problem. And additionally, it can influence the other parts of your body, like the immunity system. And the immunity system that is so undervalued, especially right now, where everything seems to be better than our immunity system. Why? Is it because this immunity system is overwhelmed with number of threats that it needs to handle, and it does not have support from proper food, maybe some supplements, and with only those it can work on any threat possible? Why we cannot see it? Why we are not appreciating how well we were designed to have this great immunity system? How great we were designed to really focus on what we can do to improve it. There are lots of ways that you can support your immunity system, but why we are not seeing them as available ones? It's as well probably part of the bigger human beings hero journey that we have. And quite probable is that this journey is not only about those aspects, about finding what we are capable of as human beings, what tools, what capabilities we have, but as well as the tool for discovering the higher aspects of ourselves. Another aspect of the body that is so interesting and so undervalued, I would say, are those senses that we have. And as you've seen here, it's hard to say really how many we know currently and if this number is final. As you see, which is first sense from the basic list, and here what I'm speaking, you can touch the screen if you are watching that one on tablet, but the rest, smell and taste as well, are the basic, this is a basic package of 5 senses that we have, that usually we are driven by on this human journey. But this is what has been like a definition for already some years, but as you see in here, I added on the very top of the list couple more. Is it 2? Is it 4? See, while working with our kids, we discovered that there, besides by great teacher, by great observer of how the kids behave, we already discovered that there is something like proprioception, which is really the knowledge of how the muscles work, how the body parts are interjoined. Body knows it. Body feels its presence. That the massage is really touching this proprioception, and especially the deep massage that you can do. But as well, there are different ones, like balance, the way that you are standing in proper posture, the way you can move. It's about balance. What more? More might be as well the time perception, the temperature, both in the internal and external aspects. Is there more? Probably yes. Is there more on other levels that we would talk about? Probably yes as well. What might be another aspect, or what is another aspect, it's not what might be, it is another aspect, is that body itself, the physical body, is not only the only body that we have. As you already saw in yogi culture, there is as well the life energy body, with energy called chi or prana, and this body is like a framework for the physical body that we have. This body causes as well impacts on the physical body. So energetic body as well is important to have it cleaned up, to have it aligned, so that our physical body works in proper way as well. So what might be the aspects of this physical body that exist, and what are the most important ones? Some of you probably know already that there are things called chakras, which are located from top to bottom most of the time on the spine, and here in the third eye location, and here on the natal part of the head. But how important they are, sometimes it's quite hard to say what can we do without having those chakras properly aligned. In yogi culture as well, those chakras have different alignments, have different functions, and they can be either overcharged or charged not too much. So they might not be in balance, and all those chakras are related to different aspects of us all. So starting with the root chakra, it's really about having the basis for ourselves. Just this is the chakra that is this connectivity with earth for us. The lowest, the first chakra, the root chakra, they say that this is this money chakra as well. So if you don't have the balance in that chakra, it's as well, it influences your abilities really to have the good relationship with those aspects. Another one is the sacral chakra. Sacral in here as well, it's the sex organs. It's located just behind them, and all those chakras are located on those spines. On the spine, maybe without this root, the crown chakra, which is in here mentioned as root chakra on the top. But all those are influencing something. Imbalance in those influences the imbalance in your physical aspect. So the sacral one as well is connected to your family, to your relationships, to where you are as human being. So next one is solar plexus chakra, which as well is quite important for your well-being. All of those are. For solar plexus chakra, it's located here, just on the level just below the heart, and in this very location. What for us really to consider how it works is as well, it has some important aspects that I'm going around because I was not reminded that what those aspects were on this level, and I'm focusing more on the heart chakra right now. That's why probably this is the most important for me right now. So the heart chakra, which I'm focusing right now in this very moment in what I'm doing, this is the chakra of creation, chakra of having the possibilities, the chakra of opening for opportunities, the chakra of your tasks that are assigned to you by your soul. The heart chakra is your transfer of the soul to have the best possible context for you as human being, to give you the tasks. This is like a project manager for you as human being, that tells you, okay, this is the project, do it, it is the best possible. This is the project, do it, it's the best possible. It's your choice, or the choice of the mind that is filtering the information that the play is all about. So the heart chakra is as well the gateway to higher consciousness, the gateway to your soul, to the language of the soul. Quite often it starts to really resonate, and you know that it's heart that is resonating. The heart meaning the heart chakra, because it's on the spine rather than on the left with the heart. So next one is the throat chakra. This throat chakra is the one that is the gateway for all of us. This is the chakra that is about the spiritual journey. This is the chakra that opens up your visibility on the spirituality. This is this gateway as well to this spiritual knowledge, gateway to be in alignment with the vibrations that just pull you to know more and more about your spiritual self. This is very important for the spiritual growth, and it directly impacts as well your view on the third eye chakra, which is located between eyebrows but a bit back, like 5 centimeters back. The third eye is different than physical eyes. Although, as an organ, it has a lens, but it's located inside the head, not outside, not in here. In some shamanic traditions, they even have the ritual of opening the third eye by physical opening in here, which is quite severe. But the third eye is the location of our soul, is the location where our soul is connected directly to what we are doing in here as human beings. It's our connection to this crown chakra, the one on the top, that drives us to the highest consciousness. Is the location of soul that can give you the best possible life experience, the best possible life experience here on earth for all of us. And third eye is so profound in meditations. Third eye is usually the focus point of where you should point your eyes while you have your eyes closed. It's the third eye location. In yogi tradition as well, the physical aspect of ourselves here, being here on earth, is connected with opening the physical eyes. Moving to higher levels of consciousness is usually connected with opening the third eye and closing the physical eyes. The third eye as well is the chakra that lets you see auras of other people. When we are destined to be developed to this degree to see it, we will be enabled to see those type of auras. And the last one, not the least definitely, as it's the entrance of cosmic energy into our human system, is the crown chakra. And it's hugely visible in small kids when you have here really a big hole with direct access to the brain for the small kids, and it starts to really be closed and starts to get hard and harder. But it's the entry of the energy that we all use for living. It's the entry of this pranic energy that we all have as human beings. So, to just conclude for today, because this chakra, the crown chakra, is the access to this highest consciousness that we have access to. And going from this physical connected chakras through the chakras that are connected to our mental aspects, and when we land in the spiritual chakras, this is our human journey as well. This is our human journey here on earth, but this is our human journey for all of us. You see people already evolved in spiritual aspects that understand this language quite simply. For them it's obvious that there is chakra system, that we are just the vehicle as soul in human body, and that we are destined for more, and we have the restriction that is called the mind. But mind is the restriction only when you let the mind to be in driver's seat. That's why this body aspect is as well so important, because body as well can influence the mind. Healthy body, healthy spirit, but healthy body and fit body and body that is filled with this happiness hormones as well is the body that really pushes the mind to be in same state. So body as well can impact the mind. It's what as well Tony Robbins mentions, that change your state, change your mind. You can use the automations, you can use these power postures, you can use the body movement to influence how your mind behaves. The yogi postures from Hatha Yoga, from different types of yoga, they can as well, by exercising the body, energize the whole system, clean up the whole system. So it's not only the body by moving influences itself, it influences your energy. So the amount that you can have, the joy of waking up that you might have as well, they might influence your mood. They might influence that you will not be in a state of fear, that you will not really fall back to this anger mechanism, or fall back to the mechanism of having the mind blockages that stop you from doing those different trials, different tests that you would like to do. Because each and every one of us would like to try something, but usually it's they try something sometime. And with this body aspect of ours, we are so blessed that we have this body. This body can help us on this human journey in great way. It can help us to cooperate with the mind and have the best possible human experience. So if you take care about the body, you take care about this first aspect of yourself. When you take care about your body, you are building the basis. And this journey as well is important to know what might be the building blocks of this basis for you. So this would be the time for the Q&As, if there were any, but this time we will conclude the day and I will see you tomorrow. And tomorrow it will be next step of the journey. Next step being your mental aspect. Next step of discovering yourself from different perspective. Mind is interesting tool. But we have to remember it's a tool. But the tool that is quite complicated and effective in self-protection. But that is what we are going to discover tomorrow. And with that, thank you very much for today. I'm so grateful for all of you that were present today, for being here with me. I hope you all will have the great day ahead and great evening, depending on when you are watching it. And see you tomorrow. See you next time. See you the next day of Discover Your Soul Challenge. Bye.